This is a demo recording of Infoblox Network Insight integration with Cisco ACI. This is coming with the Network Insight release 8.2. The integration, similarly to how we use discovery of traditional network devices, as you can see on the top of the screen, we're now gathering data from Cisco ACI also. In this first release, we'll just be focusing on discovery, not making changes. And this is supported both for NetMRI 7.2 and Network Insight 8.2. But in addition to the traditional objects that we are gathering, you can also see here that we're gathering tenant information, bridge domain, application profile, EPG, end host. These are items, at least EPG, bridge domain, and tenant that are specific to ACI. So these are additional attributes that you're going to see in IPAM that are discovered, and we're pulling these right out of the APIC controller. We're not going out to the nodes themselves to gather this information like we would typically do in a traditional environment. So when you configure this and you're using NIOS, you go into the grid, and under discovery, you would choose a particular probe or standalone system and go to edit the member discovery properties, and there's a new option here for discover APIC configuration now that you're going to see, and you can configure multiple connections for multiple APICs. In this case, when you add, you're going to be specifying items like the IP address of the APIC controller, which protocol to use to connect, which network view, your credentials along with your certificate if you're using HTTPS, which more than likely you will. And so those are things you're going to see. Now, when discovery occurs, when you have Network Insight, you have the new an additional devices tab in the screen. So if you have Network Insight today, you'll be used to seeing the fact that there are switches, routers, firewalls in this, but now you're going to see an item for the APIC controllers and also for the leaf and spine devices with device type of either SDN controller or SDN element. You can see we're also gathering model, vendor, device version, chassis serial numbers, that sort of thing. If you drill into one of those nodes, in this case we've drilled into a leaf node, you can see that we are gathering the things we typically gather. These are all the interfaces, including admin status, operational status, VLAN, that sort of thing. We're displaying or gathering the networks or subnets on the node. We're gathering all of the IP addresses. We're gathering assets. Assets are the end hosts that are attached. So that's one of the most important things that Network Insight is doing here, is not just gathering the state of the APIC of the ACI environment, but also the attached end hosts and associating them with interfaces as well as some other things. And then we're getting, as far as inventory goes, components like Ethernet, interfaces, fan trays, supervisor module, power supplies, that sort of thing. The way we map this into IPAM objects is this way. So you can see we've introduced some new concepts here. The fabric nodes, leaf and spine, will come in as individual devices in Network Insight. APIC controller is its own device. You can then also have the tenants come in as an attribute. VRFs, you can group the VRFs into network views. You have bridge domains with multiple bridge domains that can be in a tenant. You can have EPGs with multiple EPGs being in a bridge domain. And then, of course, you're getting subnet and end hosts also. So it's not just discovery in a traditional way. We're adding some SDN elements to this as well. So if we go and take a look at the data management, the IPAM section of the tool, these are the networks, and you can see here now that there are some additional fields here for tenant and bridge domain. These are not extensible attributes. These are actual fields, and so here you can see the mapping of tenants and bridge domains to those individual networks or subnets. If you drill into the subnet, again, additional fields have been added here. These are the individual IP addresses, so you would see For instance, one of these, an IP address may represent an end host that's attached to an interface. So in addition to knowing which interface where an end host is attached to, we're showing the data of the tenant, the bridge domain, and the EPG in that case. So thanks for viewing this recording. That again is the Network Insight integration with Cisco ACI. Be sure to check out our other demo recordings of Infoblox Cisco integrations.